guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. If you're new here, it's 𝗙𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗃. Thanks for coming. So in today's video, this is something that I've always wanted to talk about a lot, but this is my time today. And I've been seeing some things on TikTok and I was like, you know what, let me give you or share some of the modern day African beauty standards that we actually have today. I don't know if I should be happy about it or not, because it's like comparing people, but I mean, it has to be talked about. And as always, we are the OGs. Yeah, we are the beginning. Also, if you look into social media or if you look into the media, I see people trying to look like African features or black people's features. And as an African, I'm like, excuse me, you should be actually hiring us to do those things for you. But anyway, if people are doing the most to look like us, why not share our modern day beauty standards in the African continent? Number one, if you are a sensitive person that you feel you might get offended with this video, please kindly just a little yeah, so those who are here, let's talk about it. Number one, let me start with the face. When it comes to people as Africans, we are different. We have different features, culturally different. We have different tribes. We can literally know our features by just looking at ourselves. And when it comes to groups of Bantu, like people in East Africa and then South Africa, we are the same, but different demographics. When it comes to the Nilotics in Kenya and then a bit of Central, they are also kind of the same, or they are the same actually. When it comes to West Africa as a whole, also, they are completely the same. Like the way you see a Nigerian is the same as a Ghanaian, the same as a Cameroon and Sierra Leone and Senegal. So it's more like they are the same by just the features. And then when you come to a bit of Somalia, Eritrea, and then Ethiopia, their demographic is different as well, and so they kind of look similar or the same. So that's how we are kind of different. And then the Central of Africa. But the thing is, when you go on social media, you're going to see a lot of videos of people saying or comparing who are the most beautiful women in Africa. Most of the times, 100%, you're going to see people actually putting Somalis, Eritreans, Ethiopians on top, and I'll give you the reason why. And then that's where the bottom of Uganda, Kenya, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania comes in, and then you go to West, and then you go to South Africa. Like, there's a reason why people are doing that. An African man, when they're approaching you, before even the balm comes in, they will have to look at your face. How do you look? Is your face representable? Is your face something to take to people to see? Imagine! The way I'm saying it sounds really horrible. The features of the face have to be top notch. They want the slim nose. Like, I don't know, we as Africans, the things that we see on TV, especially, I think are the things that really influence us. Like, we literally kind of forgotten our real African beauty to the way that we should be, because I feel like the beauty standards today are more to make us forget who we are and go with how the modern world is moving. And that's why I call this title the modern day African beauty standards. If your face is not that presenting, not that I think you can be in the second role. Yeah. And also, when it comes to women, it's more of, how is my child going to look like? Like, if I'm with this man, how will my child look like? That is more of the women beauty standards when it comes to African men. But for the African men, if you have the best features, and when they say best features, that means thick lips like African lips, and then the slim nose, which is more of the Eritreans, Somalis, Ethiopians. That's why when they say most beautiful, they say those people, because of the face, the features they have of the face. That's weird. That's kind of weird. And if you're asking me where I got this from, it's mostly from social media and also from the society that I grew up in, and also from the kinds of people that I've been engaging or actually having conversations with. We actually have the same ideas, the same conversations, And when it's seen in other people, that means it's really happening. Number 2 is obviously the bum. If you don't have 𝗗𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗏, my dear, you're in a wrong place. We all know 100% these men, when you have the bum, when you go to the club and it's in the east, west, south, when you can track it like Cardi B, when you can bring it up and down, when you can look like Nicki Minaj with that ass, you're going to get all these men looking at you. It's just funny because to people like us, like my body standard is very, very different. I'm not like the typical desired person when it comes to African men. Yeah, it's kind of weird to say, but this has to be said. If you have the bum in Uganda, in Kenya, in South Africa, in West Africa, you get the privileges of being desired by everyone, regardless of how you look like. And then the other things can come in. Sometimes I'm like, so where do we fall? Where do I fall in my continent? Like, you want me to go and get injections, guys? I'm not gonna do it, but like, you want me to get them? Like, should I go? That leads me to the third thing that is called the hair. Hair. Guys, Africa imports more wigs, more extensions from abroad than anything else in Africa. We are the biggest importers of fake hair than anybody else. Because you know why? When you look on TV, when you go on social media, and as I said, a lot of African women or African people look up to the things that they see on TV, on the screen, especially when it comes to American celebrities. That is Kim Kardashian, that is Nicki Minaj, that is Beyonce, that is Cardi B, that is Rihanna, like those kinds of people. And it's actually mostly light-skinned women. That is also something to talk about. Because now if I'm to think about, who am I to think about who's a celebrity, dark-skinned, long hair, and I think, to me, I was going to say Zendaya, but Zendaya is also light-skinned. Maybe, guy, this is crazy. Okay. What? Maybe Sky Jackson? But I say Sky Jackson because I grew up seeing her when I was young. Maybe Masai Martin, but those are young. I'm saying like older generations of people. I can't think of any older generation. If I'm to think about Taraji, she doesn't mostly wear long wigs. Who? Maybe Viola Davis, but I rarely see her with long wigs, you know. And maybe Tiffany Haddish. Like, I'm even just thinking of the people that are actually with long hair who are dark-skinned. That is a problem. Like, to me now, that is a problem. Because when it comes to long hair, I have a list of people. But now you see why. Because we mostly see light-skinned people in the media, and they are the ones that are given the preference of being on TV as people to represent us. Because when I see Nicki Minaj, I know she's a black woman. And then when I see her with the long extension of blue hair, I'm like, oh, I should also do that to look beautiful. And I don't think that is a good thing. But anyway, if you come to Uganda, you're going to reach and see a lot of buildings full of hair, fake wigs everywhere. Like, and I think it's more of also the men, African men like you more when you do the long extension than you with your natural hair, which is kind of a problem because now women are trying to embrace and love their hair. But if men are preferring women with long extensions, that means I'm tempted to do the same extension for me to get attention as a woman. Yeah, that's the modern day African, beauty standard now, which is crazy. Come to think of it. The thing is, when you have extensions on your head and you go for a job interview, you'll be given more privileges. You'll be treated special than when you go with your natural hair. So having a long extension on your head is seen as a privilege because it's expensive. Natural wigs are expensive. So for a woman to have extensions on their head all the time, you're a high valued African woman. And the men that approach you are on a higher level. Which I don't know if it's really not making me, the way I'm presenting it, it's making me actually think about it. Because when you have your natural hair and go for a job interview, they will actually think you're playing. Like, where are you going with your natural hair? And it's a problem in Africa. Imagine in my continent. Yes. And also the people that we see on TV or even commercials, especially when it comes to people who read the news, because a lot of Ugandans actually see the news on screen, right? The women that are always presenting on TV are always with extensions on their head. And they are thick women, whether they are dark-skinned, they are thick and long extensions of hair. So that shows you that it's a beauty standard. When you look at the commercials, they are full of long extensions of hair. As women who want to embrace ourselves, it's kind of hard. We have to also follow something that is kind of seen as a beauty standard. And as women, you know, women want to get attention. If that makes sense, it's not a good thing, but it is what it is. I mean, what can I say about it? It's happening.
Another thing, color. African men like light-skinned women. Women are bleaching.
Like, let me tell you, Kenya is taking it to another level. They're actually injecting themselves with injections. Like injections to make people look lighter. Like, Africans are dying to look white so bad. And I think the most people who bleach a lot when it comes to Africa, I'm sorry to say, that is Congolese people, West Africans, Nigerians, that side. And then now when it comes to Uganda, please, it's also a pandemic. When you go to South Africa, where I actually see that they are actually light-skinned, it's also a pandemic. We Africans want to look white so bad. And it's not even kind of something to be proud of or to kind of blame people. Because also when it comes to African men, Ugandan men like light-skinned women. Like, you can be light-skinned but skinny, you'll be looked at. You can be light-skinned and not that attractive in the face without nyash. You're still attractive, you're still beautiful. But if you're dark-skinned, no nyash, no boobs, like myself, like I said, I'm a basketball. I'm at the list of the last people on the list. So I'm not seen as desirable. Maybe when it comes to people like Nilotic men, Sudanese men, Northern Ugandan men, they like dark-skinned women, but mostly Sudanese men are more preferred to love their dark-skinned, tall women than any other men that I've come across to. And I'm not generalizing, but what I've seen. You can be light-skinned and you can be given a privilege to be on TV. I rarely see people that are skinny, dark-skinned on TV in Uganda. That's how kind of bad it is. So basically, if you are a dark-skinned person, a black woman, dark-skinned, also in Africa, it's a struggle to fit in. And I don't know how to phrase it right, but that is a pandemic. It's been there forever, but now it's getting worse at some point. And I think it needs to be talked about. That's why I'm talking about these things. And I'm not shading any woman or putting any woman down that these are better than these ones. But I'm just saying the things that are really happening in our continent of Africa. Also in my country, Uganda. It is what it is. And that brings me to the other thing, guys. Height. This goes for the men and the women. Ugandan men are not that tall men. They are tall, but not majority. Unless when you go to northern Uganda, that's when you find the Maasai men or Nilotic men that are tall and slim, basically. But Ugandan men don't prefer women that are taller than them. Or I think most men don't prefer women that are taller than them. Like, they want women that are short, thick, you have a pass. But if you're skinny and tall, you're either a model on a billboard or you're just a slayer who just want to eat someone's money. So that's where I fall. When people see my skin tone and my height and my body, they are more like, oh, she's just a slayer. You know, in Uganda, a slayer is someone who just parties, who just enjoys life, who just does nothing. So that's the category that they put slim or skinny girls. And I don't know, like, it's a very, very horrible stereotype. Maybe because they see on the screen that slim women are the ones that are getting more party privilege. Like, on the screen, skinny women are in places where there is parties, where there is conferences, where there is hostessing, modeling. And one thing that I actually realized in Uganda, like, most people that would meet me would always tell me, are you a model? You should go into modeling. Oh my God. Are you with a white man? Oh my God. Like, because that's the preference that they see me. Like, my beauty standard is to be with a Western man in Uganda. And that is point blank. I'm not joking about it. And most men that have actually come into my life have been from northern Uganda, those men that actually like dark-skinned women, or just white men, because I am a beauty standard when it comes to them. But to my men, being dark-skinned, skinny, no nyash, no boobs, bye. And to top it all, I've not said everything, but those are the most major things. Women in Uganda, because I was mixing, I was not just saying about women or men, I'm just mixing a bit. Women in Uganda, my country, can love a man who is short because of money. But if you don't have money and you're a short man in Uganda, I'm so sorry, women are going to be hard for you to get. Yes, they will be there, but those women like men who are yeah, not to sound rude, but like I've seen it. And so it's, I don't know, it's something that I don't know if it's a bad thing, but if you have money, you can get away with everything, literally, whether you're a man or woman. And one last thing is, Africans, we need to love ourselves, because when I think back on these beauty standards, I don't feel they are anywhere close to African beauty standard, like our typical own beauty standards. I feel like a lot of us as Africans, women especially, are trying so hard to look like white women. I'm sorry to say, but it is what it is. Like, we want the slim nose, we want the small waist, we want the long hair. We don't appreciate our natural, okay, now we are trying to appreciate our natural hair, but because of the beauty standards that men want, like they want light-skinned women or long hair or certain things, then women are tempted to change themselves to please the men at some point, which I do not really want to say out loud, but it is what it is. So guys, tell me what you think. I hope you liked the video. I think I've missed some, but then these are the most major ones, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.